Dero, he mentioned it was a bullpen game. Logan Webb was scheduled to start but unable to, so it was a bullpen day for the San Francisco Giants, but it really didn't matter last night against the Cardinals.
Yeah, I want to dive in. I know Nolan Arenado went 0 for 3 with a couple walks last night. The story was Tommy Edman. Miles Michaelis was kind of erratic, one of what he would say, not totally in command last night, but he has been darn good for the St. Louis Cardinals in their rotation. But I want to dive in on Nolan Arenado because, listen, we're allowed to have favorite players in the game too, and on the short list for me is this guy. Every time we interview him, I want to be in the dugout with him. I want to break bread on the road, Seafood Towers, break it down with Nolan Arenado. I just respect the way he goes about it, the way he plays the game with a passion, shows up energized every day. But he's claiming he's made some changes to where he's positioning his hands and trying to create more bat speed. It's tough to see on video. We're going to dive in a little bit, but you can't deny that the results are there. But let me take you back just to kind of put it in perspective. Do you remember Father's Day in Colorado?
Yeah.
This was one of those cool moments in the game. Oh, by the way, pause. He's got Michael Jordan-like blood coming off the left eyebrow to perfection. Run it. Look at that. How about the Luis Perdomo tiger swipe? Get over here, boy. Got him! You're lucky. Or how about almost blowing out his ACL at AT&T going into the stands right there with little Sparky. So every night he does something to entertain me. But the bottom line, pause. Bring up the first board, S-Rod. Take a look at these numbers. He's top 5 in the game in pretty much everything. Home runs tied for 5th with 7. RBIs, he's already got 23 RBIs. He's slugging at a 674 clip. That's 3rd. Weighted runs created plus, he's double what the average big leaguer is. In F4, he's 2nd with a 2.2, which, by the way, Tommy Edman's up there in WAR as well, one of his teammates. So pretty good what St. Louis is doing from an offensive perspective. But I wanted to dive in and see what he does at the plate, because he's very interesting to me. If you watch Nolan Arenado, he's kind of got that old school and a little mix in a new school with what he's trying to accomplish. Keep this pause right here. What I want you to focus on is everybody searches for rhythm and timing at the plate. Some do it a little bit different. Some do it with their hands, kind of playing with their hands. Some do it with a toe tap, a leg kick, staying stagnant. Whatever that is for you that creates the ability to get to the point of contact on time with the fastball is what you have to do. I want you to take a look at his dance step. He almost dances at the plate. He kind of rocks into his back leg to kind of present that rhythm, timing, getting to my backside, understanding what it feels like for my hip and my inside of my back knee to be loaded and engaged. So run this right here. Can you bring that back a little bit more so we can see the little stutter step? There it is. Bring it back all the way.
How do you get power?
One more time. One more time. I want people to see this at home. Watch this back foot raise. I mean, that's rare. There's not many guys doing that.
How do you get power from that, Dero?
Lauren, I think for him, as long as his head doesn't move, I think it's more of a timing thing where he kind of dances with the pitcher. I'm into my backside. So it's here, now I'm loaded, and now I just come off it. For me, that was strange. I wanted to do a toe tap to engage my back leg. Boom, I'm loaded up, deliver a blow. For him, it's forward, I'm here, deliver the blow to the baseball. He's come up with that on his own. Everybody searches for different techniques to be on time. He talked about wanting to hit the ball harder, more exit velocity, be on the fastball more. He wasn't necessarily happy with the way he posted in 2021, and we'll get into the numbers. Tell me if you see something. What I see at address, yeah, he was a little wider. I'm always big on trying to be shoulder width apart. I think the wider you get with an extended stride, now I'm in a less powerful position than I would be with everything kind of stacked under me. But he talked a lot about his hands, and I just don't see much of a difference. Run this. And where his hands present themselves, very similar in what he's trying to do. Run it back one more time. But then that goes, pause real quick, to the old adage, feel versus real. A lot of guys tell themselves certain keys that I don't think they're necessarily doing in game action. Alex Bregman talks about hitting high velocity heaters by aiming half a ball above the actual ball. Now, I don't know if he's actually swinging to that point or it's something that works for him that gets him on the heater. So whatever Nolan's doing, he's on the gas. He's on high velocity gas. And he's been effective doing it. Pull side, doesn't matter. 2-seamers, 4-seamers.
Hair club.
The ability to go deep. S-Rod, bring me up the heater board. Take a look at this. Nolan Arenado stats versus fastballs. 2015 through 2019, 318. Then he hit a low. I mean, 238, that's not Nolan Arenado. And now through the roof at 426. The slug at 915. 915 slug on heaters. Third best in the major leagues in a four-year window, and then 2022 slug, second best in the game. I'd have to imagine Byron Buxton's probably one, but I need nays in my ear on that. One thing that kind of interests me about Nolan Arenado, and you should lock in on, is the fact, let's get back into the tape. He's a pull monster. I didn't know that about him. He strikes me as a guy who can hit off his front side and wants to take the ball up the middle the other way. But when we dive into his spray charts and some of his metrics, he is trying to get out and around that heater and drive it into the bullpen. Ooh, gorgeous swing the other day. 3-run homer right after he came on the show against Mr. Bubic. Going deep right there. Take a look at this. Pulled baseballs. 2015, 2020, he only pulled the ball 38% of the time. I mean, he's almost up to 50%. I know it's small sample size, it's a couple early at-bats, but I'm interested to see if that continues, because I think you have a tendency to go into a little bit of a tailspin and a funk if you can't move the ball up the middle the other way. Do we have the spray chart? This is pretty eye-popping. Wow. I mean, he's basically playing with one half of the field, so he's on the heater. He's on high-velocity heaters. He's pulling the baseball for days, and he entertains me every night.